Hi everybody, welcome to this episode of the Kaz channel. In this episode, I am going to be doing another reverse unboxing. Basically a boxing of, or just basically pretty much a showing off of a bunch of Funko Pops that I had already unboxed before I started doing the Kaz channel and started doing unboxings. This is the Funko Pop version of the Dark Crystals Kira and Fizzgig. The Gelfling Kira and her pet Fizzgig. I mean, I saw this movie back when it first came out with my dad and his coworker and his kids, and I really liked it. It's a great movie. If you have never seen Dark Crystal or Labyrinth. Labyrinth is another one that Jim Henson did at that time. Another fantasy movie. This is very hard what I would call hard fantasy. This is pretty much all fantasy, no humans, just all creatures and puppets. But this is, I highly recommend it. This is a really fun movie. Not cheesy dragons and orcs and elves and whatever. These are just completely new creatures that Englishman by the name of Brian Froud came up for Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal that Jim Henson and Frank Oz co-directed. But this is Kira and her pet Fizzgig. So let me stop here and show off Kira first, and then I'll go and show off Fizzgig. So the one thing I like about these the Dark Crystal in general, but these Funko Pops for the Dark Crystal, is that it's very impressive how Funko Pop got very detailed with these. I mean, you can see that Kira has a bit of an ombre there as far as the coloring goes. It goes to like a cream color, like a grayish color down to a darker gray color. Transitions into a darker gray here. They're both light gray in color, but her color was basically a white, blondish color. She had very long hair. She wasn't a human. She was what's called a Gelfling. This pretty much makes her look like a human. You do have to, especially Jen, the Gelfling. They're kind of like an elf sort of creature. They do have these pointed ears here, but you do have to get used to the way they look. They are very human-like, but they're not human. You'll once you see them in the movie, you'll see what I mean. So it's kind of something that if you're new to this sort of thing, that you probably do need to get used to. One thing that I did find impressive, and I do find impressive about this line of Pops, the Dark Crystal Pops, is that they are very detailed as far as the clothing, especially the clothing of these different characters here. Kira has very much of a woodland look to her. Looks like she has a lot of leaves and like leaf-like accents to her dress here, her clothing here. A lot of green, and this transitions into like an ombre sort of pinkish, reddish color here. She's barefoot here. I like how it goes into a point here. Her cuff goes into a point, goes from the light green to the dark green. She does have 4 fingers, so the 4 fingers are portrayed here pretty accurately. And she does have a cape. A really nice cape here. Her head does move, it looks like. But her cape here does squishy. It's bendable. It's squishy and bendable. But the bottom here says copyright Henson for Jim Henson, his company, and Funko LLC 2016 www.funko.com, made in China. So that's what it says on the bottom of her feet there. And she does have various different types of accents. Like there's gold roping here, these gold chains that goes around here. But she is one of the more simpler Pops in this line. I think this is a hood here that's folded down. But if you notice, if you're here, she does have a piece of plastic that's rattling around in her head there. So next, let me show off Fizzgig. So Fizzgig is her pet and her guardian. When you first, one of the major memories that I have of this movie in the theater is being scared at the introduction, because you see Jen, he is in the forest and he hears something, and all of a sudden, Fizzgig pops out. That was one of the best jump scares that I've ever had, and I jumped. I was in second grade. Whatever I had, my snow caps or my Juji Fruits that I had, box of Juji Fruits or my popcorn, I jumped and they flew all over. So that was a really great jump scare that they had in this movie. But Fizzgig is really cute. He is this ball of fur. literally, he's a ball of fur with a huge mouth. He has this mouth full of razor sharp teeth, and he also has a second set of teeth down there. So he has the main set of teeth that everyone would have, an animal would have, and then he has this set back there. He has this other set of teeth with his tongue and his looks like his throat back there. Big black eyes, just basically a ball of fur. He has a tail, so they have his tail here, and he rolls around. He pretty much just rolls around whenever he wants to go, and he forms a ball, almost like an armadillo. He has these two little feet here that he pats the ground with when he gets excited. Little claws there on his toes, and he has this cute like nose there, almost like a Chewbacca nose. So, but there's the back of him. He's, like I said, he's all fur. It's all fur. One big ball of fur. At the bottom of him, it says the same thing. Copyright Henson Funko LLC 2016. The website and made in China. So let me show off the box art before we sign off. So here's the box art for Kira and Fizzgig from the Dark Crystal, the number 340 out of their line here. You can see a little bit more detail here, a little bit more caricature here of Fizzgig. He's very, very furry, and he has those two sets of teeth there. There's Kira, and so there's that. It actually has warning, choking hazard, may contain small parts. It's probably because of Fizzgig. Fizzgig is the one, my first pop that I had two pops, a bigger pop and a smaller pop in the same packaging. Here's the side here, as part of the Pop Movies line, Kira and Fizzgig. And here's the back with the Dark Crystal lettering and the Dark Crystal itself here as a background. Also in the line are number 339, Jen. Number 340 here is Kira and Fizzgig. Aughra is number 341. 342 is the Chamberlain Skeksis. And 343 is Ursel the Chanter Cantor. So here's the side here, very nicely detailed side of that's framed with this gold here, and it has the full version of both Kira and Fizzgig. Let me just show off the top right there. There's the bottom, if you wanted to pause on that and read that. Okay, so here is the Funko Pop version of Dark Crystal's characters Kira and Fizzgig. Kira, the Gelfling, and her pet Fizzgig. So here's the side here and the back. So let me know what you think about this pop. I really like it. I really like this line of Dark Crystal characters. Please let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Thanks for coming to this episode of the Kaz channel. Please like and subscribe. Please go to www.archangelproductions.org where you can find more episodes of the Kaz channel, more episodes of the mini Kaz, copies of my low-budget horror movies, signed and unsigned DVDs of those, pins, clothing, different types of merchandise. Try to find CEC Upstate, the mini Kaz's Chuck E. Cheese channel. But again, thanks for coming, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.